Me and Goku laughed at Raditz for a little while and Raditz's sweat dropped and said, "Are you done?" And Goku said, "Well, Krillin is the strongest person on Earth right now. He's far stronger than me in my God form, and Krillin just stays in his base form while I'm in my Super Saiyan God Blue form." And then Raditz asked me, "What do you mean Super Saiyan God Blue form? But the Super Saiyan God is just a myth." And then Goku said, "No brother, it's real because I use it all the time." And then I took Raditz to train with me, and then I trained him to master Super Saiyan God Blue, and I even taught them the Kaioken technique, and I also taught Goku the Spirit Bomb. And then Goku said, "I know there has to be a form beyond Super Saiyan Blue," and I said, "There's a form called Super Saiyan Blue 2, and you can achieve it, Goku. You just need time to train, and in here you can train infinitely if you wish to." And Goku said, "I know, Krillin, but Raditz needed this too." And then the day came when Raditz was finally ready, and he had mastered Super Saiyan Blue 2 along with Goku, and then we all confronted Vegeta and Nappa, and then Vegeta said, "Watch out for that big bald man and his strange woman. I think they might actually be trouble," because I sensed something terrifying just beneath the surface, and I smirked as my eyes glowed red, and then my wife's eyes went black, and that scared Vegeta and Nappa said, "What the hell, Vegeta, did you see that?" And then Vegeta said, "Yes, I seen that. Steer clear of those two mutant humans." And then Raditz said, "You don't need to worry about the humans, Nappa. Yours and Vegeta's fight is with me and me alone." Me and Kakarot agreed to it, and then Raditz said, "I think I'll start with you first, Nappa, because I disliked you the most." And then Nappa said, "Be silent, you pathetic low-class Saiyan." And then Nappa tried to strike Raditz, and then Raditz smirked and said, "Pathetic, what a slow attack." And then Raditz punched Nappa in the solar plexus, and Nappa puked, and then Nappa couldn't breathe, and then he passed out, and then Vegeta started to kill him, and then I stepped in and knocked away Vegeta's blast, and I said, "Not today, no one dies today." And then Vegeta said, "Why you?" And then Raditz stepped in front of me and Vegeta blocking Vegeta from walking towards me, and then Vegeta said, "I'm going to teach that pathetic human his place." And then Raditz said, "You are unworthy to touch him, and you're a coward just like your father, and that's why you will fail miserably." Vegeta, "Someone as weak as you will never rule the universe. You're pathetic. Allow me to show you true power." And then Raditz powered up to regular Super Saiyan, and then Vegeta's scouter exploded and crumbled to pieces, and then Raditz said, "What a pathetic machine. Those scouters are brittle. You can sense powers without them." And then Vegeta said in his mind, "I have to use the Blus Wave now. It might be my only way to beat Raditz." And then Vegeta threw the Blus Wave in the air, and he said, "Now Raditz, you will lose." And then Raditz stood there with his arms crossed, and he said, "Are you done?" And then Vegeta said, "Now I'm going to kill you." And Raditz laughed and said, "You can't kill me, you pathetic insect. Your father was a no great cowardly emperor, and you're his little girl princess. You're so immature, Vegeta, and stupid." And then Vegeta said, "Shut your damn mouth, you bastard." And then Raditz smirked and powered up to Super Saiyan 2 and held Vegeta's massive fist with one hand, and he said, "Vegeta, your punches don't even tickle." And then I shouted, "Don't kill them, Raditz, because I want to train them." And then Vegeta got angry and said, "How dare you take orders from a human? Where's your pride, Raditz?" And then Raditz said, "If I had pride as weak as yours, then I don't want it. You're pathetic, Vegeta, and immature. You need to grow up because Elite Saiyans don't exist anymore, and neither does Planet Vegeta. And when me and Kakarot get Planet Vegeta back, we are challenging you and your father for the throne, because you and your father are weak leaders, cowardly." And then Vegeta tried to smash Raditz with his big fingers, and then Raditz powered up to Super Saiyan 3 and then pushed away all of Vegeta's fingers while he was trying to crush him. And Raditz said, "I'm not even taking you seriously, Vegeta. The forms I am using is Super Saiyan, and you don't even realize it, I guess." And then Raditz blinded Vegeta a bit when he shot a small ki blast in his eye, and then Raditz pulled Vegeta's tail off, and then Vegeta shrank back to normal size, and he said, "Kill me, Raditz, because I would rather die than to live with the shame of being defeated by a low-class Saiyan." And then Raditz said, "Oh, please shut up about that low-class Saiyan and elite-class Saiyan bullshit. That's racist propaganda against our own people that Frieza started a long time ago. He made up elites and low-class to divide the Saiyans forever. There's no such thing as elite Saiyans and low-class Saiyans. It's all nonsense and propaganda against our own people. Can't you see that?"